All right. Welcome everybody to the January 2020 edition of the Key Ministry Disability Ministry Video Roundtable. Today our topic is mobile church. So what does it look like when your church is in a facility that's not actually a church? So perhaps you're using rooms at a school or some other public place. So we want to talk about what some of the obstacles are to doing church there and maybe what some of the benefits are. So my name is Beth, I'm with Key Ministry, and this is a subject I don't have a lot of experience in. So luckily, all these friends today, and whether you're here to share your experience or learn from others, we're glad you're here and we welcome your input. So would anybody like to start and tell us what your situation or your experience is, just so we can kind of get an idea of who here is actually doing kind of this mobile church concept? Hopefully somebody, or else this will be a really short table.
I'll jump in.
Okay, thanks, Doc.
Yeah, I'm never shy to talk. You know that. I'll jump in. I'm Doc Hensley. I'm with SOAR Special Needs Ministry. Previously, I had been on staff at a church. We had 3 campuses. One of our campuses we did do and still doing in a school. So we packed up and had to unload and load up every single weekend. At the same time, I've now have assisted over 320 churches throughout the United States, Canada, Brazil, and Jericho in launching ministries. Many of those have been anywhere from schools to movie theaters to homes in doing ministry. So I've got a lot of experience with assisting churches in doing ministry in a lot of different situations and that. So either from assisting or doing it firsthand.
Okay, great. Thank you. So you're going to be a good resource for us. How about anybody else? Anybody else currently doing a church in this type of environment that wants to share?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Jessie. I live in Minot, North Dakota, and I work for a church called The Pursuit. We are no longer a mobile campus. We have a building now, but we planted another campus and hope to plant more around the state. So currently we have a second campus in a town called Stanley, about an hour away from here, and they use the elementary school where they're at. So they do set up and tear down as well.
Okay, great. Good. Another good resource.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Becky, and we meet at a high school. And yeah, I mean, we just it's kind of hard to get places to meet outside of time to build community. I think we also, it's hard to get kids used to the spaces because sometimes we don't have control over how those spaces end up being. And we actually had construction there over the summer, which brought in all kinds of smells and new classrooms and all kinds of things. And I think just the idea of the limited control that we end up having over this space, I think is kind of why I kind of started asking the question, because I'm sure that there's got to be other people who deal with the same things, and just keep it safe and preparing them for what's coming.
So big shout out to Becky, because the reason this roundtable is taking place today is that she posed the question. So she's having, some struggles with some of the obstacles that she just mentioned. So, keeping kids safe in this environment that she doesn't really have that much control over. And just, it's hard to have meetings in the same place at other times other than, when they're scheduled there on Sundays and some of these things. So she brought it to Key Ministry. And so thank you all for jumping on here today, because hopefully we can help Becky out with some things. So we'll yeah, this is wonderful. Who else?
Hi, I'm from Northwest Arkansas.
Hi.
And we have 2 mobile campuses. We have one in Rogers and one in Bentonville. We have one in a movie theater and one in event space that we tear down and build up every day, every Sunday. We are a fairly new church. We're about 2 years old, and our special need ministry is about a year old. So we have a lot of questions and a lot of, hopefully answers.
Yeah, great. All right. Does anybody else want to share what their situation is right now? Okay. All right. Well, then let's start with a question. So it sounds like so one of the things that I heard Becky say was it's difficult to have that meeting space to develop community outside of those scheduled Sunday morning, when the place is reserved for the church. So has anybody else run into that or have found solutions for that? Can we brainstorm? Go ahead.
So we are starting a Facebook page where it's just we call them buddies. So we're buddies to our special need kids. So it's going to be the buddies and the parents. So like that we can communicate, because we're with the kids, but we're not with the parents. They just drop them off and go to, and if we have to report anything. But we just started the Facebook page. It's brand new. There's just 3 of us, the 3 people on there right now. And so that's one of the ways we're going to try to reach out so that we can have more community with the parents as well.
Okay, great. So what do you envision, what type of communication is going on in this Facebook group?
So we just started talking about it. So we're thinking about just posting any help tips for parents, like anything that's any activities that we have in the community. I know we have like silent nights at the movie theater where they have the lights on, the music low, and just activities for the parents to do. Also, if we need to just reach out to one another, babysitting maybe is one of the things we talked about. It's hard to find babysitting for kids with special needs, and maybe we could help out that way, or just any way to just communicate with each other. Hey, how's your week going? Just so that they know that we are here to help them with, as much as we can,
Okay,
Yeah,
great. So just kind of continuing the conversations that you might not really be able to have if people were meeting at church on a regular basis throughout the week. I love that.
Yeah, we have a Facebook group too, and in addition to that, we post a lot of Key Ministry articles, also prayer requests, checking in once in a while, especially during holiday times and times when we know that it can be a little bit more stressful, and giving heads up. So like if we have a facility change or something like that, last couple weeks ago we had cereal Sunday, and so for kids who have allergies and different things, we kind of put a heads up in addition to what the children's director is doing, to specifically make sure that they know, and that if there are any things that we need to have in place, that we can have those in place for them. So yeah, we utilize the Facebook group quite a bit, actually.
So selfishly, I want to ask a question about the Facebook group, because this is something that we're thinking of. It's something that I wished we had, but as an administrator, like it shouldn't be me doing it. It's got to come from like the moms or the parents or whatever. But I have a parent who's interested in, like, without having talked to me, she said, "Is this something we can do?" And I'm like, "Yes, finally." So so she met with a couple other moms, and they want to call it, I thought it was kind of funny, they want to call it SPAM, like SPAM, and it stands for, I can't remember what it stands for, special, I'm not sure, but, and I was joking that she could say like, "Oh, you didn't hear the announcement, did you check your spam?" Sorry. Okay. All right, so how many of you, just let's see a show of hands, how many of you are doing a Facebook group for families who are in your, like, whatever you call your thing, if it's the special needs ministry or children's ministry or whatever? How many of you are doing a Facebook group of some sort? So a few of you. Okay.
We're not yet, but I would love to see that. We just kind of, our special needs ministry here is very new.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, maybe a few of us will come away with some good ideas today then. I'm going to open it up. If anybody else would like to introduce themselves, even if this is not what their church looks like, even if you're not doing like a mobile church campus or whatever, I do invite you to introduce yourself and tell us, you know, where you're from or what you do or what, you know, why you have joined us today. Andrew, do you want to start?
So hi, I'm Andrea Foster, and I am actually, my primary role is a stay-at-home mom, and I also do disability education ministry workshops. So I went back to school, got my master's in disability studies, and just kept letting the Lord lead me where I thought he was leading me. And so I actively go to church and bring my kids to church. I have 4 teenagers, and 2 of my girls are twins. They're 16 years old. They have disabilities. So I am just gleaning all this information to find out, because I know there are church leaders who are in mobile churches, and I hope to have some answers for them, because very often I get asked questions that I then come to you guys with, and because we can't know everything, right? So
we do this.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at, and I just hope to learn from your experiences and hopefully have some solutions to offer other pastors and leaders. So yeah.
Great, thank you. We're glad you're here. Would anybody else like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Amy Troyer, and I am from Ohio. I jumped on today. We are doing 10 and 10 campuses, and so those new campuses will not always be in a located building. They may be in a school or movie theater, which is a great idea. So I'm hoping to glean some information to be able to share with the up and coming disability ministries that'll be starting there.
Great, thank you. Carrie, do you want to tell us about yourself?
Sure. Sorry about that. I had to start my video and unmute myself and all that fun stuff. I'm Carrie Mastenbrook with Eaglebrook Church up in Minnesota. We're a church of 9 campuses. Currently, we have 6 permanent locations and 3 mobile sites.
Okay, so you definitely have some experience with this as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Samantha, do you want to introduce yourself? Would you like me to read what you typed? None of the above.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, I'm Samantha Jones, and I work for Benevolence United. We're a newly founded organization. We help churches and assist them in starting special needs ministries. We're about 3 years old. I have background working in a church, and helped start, it was a portable church at the time, in the process of building a new building, but we started the special needs ministry there in a portable zone. And right now we currently are serving 3 churches at the moment. One of them is a portable church. So I'm here as well just to glean all the awesome fun tidbits that you guys have and to pass that on as God leads.
Great, thank you. Thank you. And James, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you want to introduce yourself? Okay, go ahead and unmute and tell us who you are.
I will. My name's James Gobin. I have a little experience with the mobile church. We helped plant a church in Kansas City a year and a half ago. Started a special needs ministry there. Didn't do a whole lot of tear down and set up as far as that goes. My sensory space got taken away because of the facility and what they dictated. So, and then, well, in June, God called us out here to Colorado Springs. So I'm currently the special needs ministry coach for Red Rock Church here in Colorado Springs. My job is training and organizing volunteers and getting them what they need. So.
Great, thank you. All right, well, let's talk about what are some of the benefits that you all have seen in, I think the portable zone, I like that, portable church, portable zone, or mobile church. What are some benefits that maybe those of us who are in a brick and mortar church are missing out on? Are there any?
If I could, I was going to say, sorry. One of the things that I've noticed is ADA regulations. A lot of government buildings that portable churches are in already have the ADA regulations there. So their buildings are already set up as accessible. That's something that I've noticed a lot of churches don't follow or have not followed when building their buildings, or they're in such old buildings that it's hard to grandfather all those in.
It's a great perk. Good. Anybody else?
One of the things that I'd say is a perk in being a portable church, and it depends on obviously the building you're in and who you're working with as far as who you're running from. But a lot of times you'll have a little bit more flexibility. If when you're in a brick and mortar and your own building, and you've got rooms that aren't working, you're pretty much stuck. But when you're in a portable church, you've got more flexibility. You may be able to work and find different rooms at work. You may be able to work a little bit more, especially when you get into a school situation. And here's where it's so wonderful. When you're actually doing a portable church in an elementary school, a middle school, or a high school, one of the things that I really encourage everyone to do is reach out to the school district, reach out to that school and see if they actually have special needs classes in that school, which just about every single one will, and then actually ask if you can actually have your special needs ministry in those special needs classrooms. Initially, they will always put up a fight and say, no, they don't want that. They want that hands off. But once you start explaining what you're doing and everything, they will actually embrace it and that's what we experienced with our portable church, with our campus at a elementary school. We were having a difficult time. The space that we had just wasn't working. They had an amazing special needs room that I'm like, oh, this has everything we need. We went and talked to them. I explained everything that we did, and we basically told them, look, and if we break anything, we will replace it. We will actually help purchase things, and you guys can use it and we can use it and it will work. And it's just been an amazing situation where they let us use the room. We put everything back, and on top of that, then we got so many extra tools and resources that, especially as you're starting a ministry in a portable church where you may not have the space, you don't have other things, all of a sudden you get these extra resources. So that's a huge extra perk that you have when you're using a portable church, especially in a school situation that you don't have a brick and mortar. All of a sudden, overnight, I had resources that I did not have in my other two campuses that I had all of a sudden right there, including a swing and I'm sitting there going, I want a swing. Well, it's hard to pack up a swing when you're trying to put everything in and roll things in and out. Well, I didn't have to because they had a swing that they allowed us to use. So I think that's a huge perk that you can't forget to ask and realize that almost all the time the school system will be resistant because that is such an important piece to them. They don't want anything broken, but if you explain to them how you're going to be using it, what you're doing, once they realize that you know what you're doing, you have people who are trained and you'll be taking good care of it, they will actually welcome you and be a part of it. And you may actually find out that those teachers, those people will actually start coming to your services and become a part of your ministry. And that's what I've experienced with several of the churches I've assisted with that as well. So don't forget to ask.
That's a huge blessing if you can actually bring new people in, whether it's students or volunteers or whatever, because that you've been in their space. That's I would see that as a huge benefit. Yeah. Anybody else? Benefits?
I've heard actually from just being a mobile church in general, a friend of mine who's a pastor has expressed that just having to do the tear down and set up, or set up and tear down, creates more roles for more people to be involved. And it actually creates like a whole new sort of small group community, because if you sort of have the same teams every week or whatever, sometimes doing those service roles are things that some people love to do, and they don't get to do that in a brick and mortar church. That need isn't there. So maybe that's just sort of creating more places for anyone to serve, or anyone who's able to do those jobs.
That's a really good thing that I hadn't thought of. Yeah. I like that.
And I think it kind of develops a relationship among those people. Not that it has to be the same people all the time. Of course, you need fill-in people and whatever, but I think it's sort of unique to that mobile church setting. So.
Cool. So we have 2 different campuses. We have one that's in a movie theater and one that's in the event space. The one in the movie theater, where each classroom is in an actual movie theater, so we're separate from each other. And the one in the event space, we have like partitioner walls put up, so they're kind of low. So we get to talk. We get to see each other as we get to talk to the person in the class next to us, what's going on over there. It's easier as a special needs. We get to see all of our kids at the same time. So we get to see if there's some in kindergarten or some in elementary. We get to see them all, what they're doing at the same time. And the other one where we have them in different movie theaters, I have to go from one class to the next. So, wherever I'm needed, but it's just a lot easier with being able to see everybody. It's nice.
Oh, so the movie theater one, I was picturing it was one movie theater, but you're saying like the different, first seconds in here or whatever, and third and fourth in here, like different theaters within the one building. Yeah. So each classroom has, so we have a 2 and 3-year-old, we have a kinder one movie theater, and then we have an elementary, and then we have a nursery, which is they have party rooms at our theater. Okay.
Yeah. So the nursery's in the party room, and then each other classroom has its own movie theater. So yeah, and then we have the service in a other theater, the bigger ones. So are the elementary class and all that, so they're sitting in theater seats, like what I picture movie theater, they're sitting in theater seats facing a screen? For the elementary, we do let them sit when see the screen. When we have the screen, we have our lessons and stuff up on the screen. For the elementaries, we do. For the littler kids, we have them in we have the seats blocked off, so they're not climbing on the seats and stuff. So very front of the movie theater, and we have TVs, roll-away TVs and stuff. In the front. So I was picturing that'd be very difficult for preschoolers. It is. Okay, so you have the ability to get into small groups or move around or do activities. They're not just sitting in the seats, in the theater seats the whole time. For the no, we have in the very front, we have set up like areas, like we put rugs down. So we put rugs down, and then they have their we do play time when they play with different activities or stuff, or we get small groups. We mainly do most of our stuff on the carpets. And then just when we sit down to watch, the lesson, we have videos of lessons and stuff. So when they start seeing the lesson, that's when they sit in their seats. But otherwise, they're not in the seats. That makes more sense to me. So I'm just curious, just again, since this isn't the environment that I'm working in, where is all your stuff Monday through Saturday? Where do you store it? I'm sure it's different for everybody, but can everybody share what they're doing with their
stuff?
So for us, for the movie theater, we actually have a room that's right across from the movie theater that was empty that they let us use as well. And so we have everything in rollaway cabinets, like big cabinets, and we just put everything in there and we roll it into this special room. For the event center, we have it loaded into trucks, trailers, big trailers that we load everything in, and we store it in there.
Okay. Does anybody else do the trailer method?
Yeah, for us, we have 4 20-foot trailers that each trailer has cases that we have everything in, and that includes everything, because also for us, we have to set up our sanctuary area, including all of our audio and screens and all that. So we've got 4 20-foot trailers that require setup. And then we break that all down, and then we've got one of our ministry partners in town that allow us to park our trailers at their facility through the week. And then we padlock them and lock them up, and then bring them over each week.
Yeah, we have the trailers and such, big carts. But personally, what I do, I have a suitcase that anything that I would need during the week, or that I want to make sure if it's too hot, too cold, you know, on the trailers and stuff during the week. So I use that and bring it each week.
Okay. So Andrea's asked the question, how do you do midweek programs, or do you? Anybody want to tackle that one?
For us, go ahead.
Everybody. All right, Luann, why don't you start? You showed up first on my screen, so Luann, why don't you start?
We don't have any in between services. If we do have a church, an office. We call it the church office, which is a building that we rent where they, you know, the pastor's at and stuff. And there's an area there that we could use if we need like special meetings or anything, but we normally don't meet in between with the parents.
Okay. Okay, Doc, you came up next.
Yeah, for us, for elementary at any of our campuses, we don't do any midweek programming for elementary. Our midweek programming, though, is for our student ministry. Student ministry is done on Wednesday night for all of our campuses. Obviously, having our portable campus, we're unable to do our middle school or high school there. They've got things going on through the week, so we can't use that. So we have actually found another church nearby that they do not use, have anything going on Wednesday nights. So we rent that church facility for Wednesday nights. And then we use our student ministries there, where we also have special needs as part of our middle school and high school student ministries there. And so we'll have student ministries as part of our special needs as part of our student ministries there. So we actually then, again, we've got, it's not as much, but it'll just be, you know, trucking everything by car or van, take over there, and they let us use all their equipment there, but we'll go over there for the evening. If we need to do anything else special, we'll try to find somewhere else to do it, but that's how we handle it.
Okay, thank you. And Becky, how about you?
We didn't have anything for the kids midweek, but our church rents out a coffee shop for certain group meetings, and so that's what we do. We have a moms group that meets that we do. That's the only midweek thing we do.
Okay, so you actually rent out the coffee shop?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that I don't know all the details, but basically everything. I mean, if we want, like, and if we have space at a different school for offices, a Christian school for offices, and we can rent out part of that. But we're at a pretty busy high school for our main service times, and they don't we can't really do a whole lot extra there.
Okay. All right. So let me think here. What? Well, how about? Does anybody have a question they want to throw out?
I don't have a question, but just another statement as far as if you're looking and just starting, especially when you're doing, portable churches and that, a lot of times as a church, a church will look at an organization called Portable Church, that they actually will work with you and put things together. About 2 years ago, and we used them as our church. And we were one of the first ones that were trying to put cases together for special needs, and they've never had that before. And so I actually helped them design some. So they now actually have special needs cases to help put together for, sensory rooms and different things like that I helped them design. So if anyone's looking to do, sensory rooms and that the Portable Church does have things and knows how to do that now. And so that's another resource to be aware of.
That's great. Thank you. What are some things, if you recall, what are some things that are in the Portable Church?
Yeah, so you can make it fit how you want, but some of it would be like one of the things that you could pull out would be, especially would be the I'm blanking on the name. It's the little inflatable couch that they can sit in, like the peanut couch. I'm blanking on the actual name of it, but they're great sensory wise, and they roll up into just a little bag. So those are there. They're also one where you can form it out into like a little tent area, so that if someone just needs a little, kind of a quiet, secluded space to try to get some noise there, they can do that. And then also added in where you can have like a hurricane tube in it to have another little sensory thing in there, and a bunch of different little things you can do however you want it. They're amazing to work with. You can do whatever you want. Obviously, the sky's the limit based on your pocketbook, but that's the rate limiting factor, obviously. But there's a lot of little things that you can do, and then the cases are beautiful cases. They all roll, so they're nice and easy to go on and off trailers. But that's how all of ours are. They roll easily on and off the trailer, and then all lock into place so they don't roll everywhere, and everything's nice and good. The other thing we have in ours, we have it where we've got a magnetic whiteboard that is also, when the case opens up, the whiteboard's there, and it's also low enough so that any individuals in a wheelchair would be able to use it. So the case, it'll actually drop open, and so our magnetic whiteboard's there. So I wanted it to be a magnetic board for multiple things, because I can then also use hooks and place hooks on there. So now that can also become a sensory board for us as well. So I can hang magnetic hooks and hang things on it. So I turn that then into a sensory board for our individuals to do things with and everything. So it turns into multi-function there as well. And then if we need it as a whiteboard to do it, we can use that as well. So especially when you're in a portable situation like that, you need to use space to the best of your ability. So any way you can do that is always a big win.
That's good. That sounds like it would be good even if you weren't in a portable zone. I just had a question. Safety. So in any of your environments, do you have kind of unique safety issues that maybe you wouldn't have if you were in a traditional church environment? Can anybody share about that?
We're in a high school, so there's a lot that we scour and make sure that we found things that we really shouldn't be finding, even in school, but but then, we've had kids. We have a little one with autism who was able to pull down coffee grounds that a teacher had, and started eating them. And, so just things that, I don't know, it's kind of new every week. And also, I think safety-wise, there's it's kind of a maze, and we have ways to block things off, but you can't completely block things off. And upstairs, downstairs, and I mean, it's just kind of, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge.
For sure. And I think a high school versus an elementary school, that poses a few challenges. I mean, it certainly, and especially when Doc was saying, and like seeking, if they have a sensory room or that type of room environment, that's great for us. But some of traditional high school classrooms are really not great for little kids or for kids who might be sensory seekers or that type of thing. So yeah, those are some challenges. Anybody else have either challenges or?
Yeah, we have some huge safety risks. We're in an elementary school, and all of our rooms, we're allowed to use the pods, and each pod then breaks into 4 rooms. We can't go into the rooms, but we have the pods. But every single pod also exit outside. And so we've got just a plethora of exits. And when you are dealing with so many elopement risks, it's impossible for our security team to be able to manage every single exit and watch that. And so that's our huge risk, is that we got so many areas that, kids can just run away. As well, kind of getting back to what Becky said, kids just getting into anything that the teachers have as well. So the way we've kind of prevented that is try to have things out of sight, kind of out of sight, out of mind. And so to prevent that, we've piped and draped everything. So we've piped and draped where they can't see the exits. Those exits aren't there. You can't block them because it's safety concern, but by having pipe and drape there, you can still get through if there is a fire or anything. So we can still access that and still be able to use that. So we're okay from a fire code situation, but it's just enough, having a 6-foot pipe and drape that's all solid black, that the kids aren't able to see it, and they actually forget that they're even there. And we haven't had a single problem with that now in the 2.5, 3 years. At the same time, being able to do the pipe and drape around the entire room where, it blocks out everything that the teacher has in there helps. On top of it, we're in an elementary school that loves their bright colors. So we're in some of our rooms are bright orange, bright red, and the entire pod is. And that does marvels for our, individuals with special needs, especially when they're having some behaviors or triggering behaviors. So when by being able to do the pipe and drape, that also helps mute some of those colors where it helps some of that there too. But for us, just having so many exits in a school has been the big challenge. And then at the same time, the other thing is where our brick and mortar, we're able to have secured entrances where we've got it's all locked down, where 15 minutes into the service it's locked, and you actually have to have a key fob to be able to get in. When you're in a school or you're in a portable area, you don't have any such thing. It's not your building. You can't do that. So you actually have to get more security to be able to do such a thing, trying to make sure you have the right people and making sure everything's there in place. And so just having a security team that's thoroughly in place and everyone in the right places. For us, it actually required having multiple locations. And so the security team, especially a lot of times when you're having a portable church, you don't have that many people. Pretty much everyone, you're strapped. So you may have areas that just aren't covered. So it's trying to be wise and having people in the right places and trying to make the best of what you have. But it's realizing that you may not be able to do everything the way you want to, but you just have to be able to figure out the way to do it the best to with the resources that you have and make it work the best that you can.
Thank you. That's good information. I have 2 questions now. The pipe and draping, does that just roll right off your truck into the building?
Yeah, so the pipe and drape, we have cases that, so 2 things. We have to set up the stands. We got big bases that we'll put in, and then we'll set up the poles, and then we'll put on the top pieces with the drape. So it's fairly easy. And then we've got these huge cases that we put it in. So it does come down and apart fairly easy. They all hook into each other. It's really nice. But it does take some time. We've got a team that's their sole purpose is putting up all the pipe and drape everywhere. And so that they come in and do all the rooms. And then we've got teams that set up each individual room. We'll set up our own room and I'll pack and load up those, but we've got a pipe and drape team.
Okay. And then for all of you, is this happening like crack of dawn on Sunday morning for everybody? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I have another question. This just made me think of it, and it's not really special needs ministry related, or disability ministry related. How many of your churches have like a security team? Can I just see a show of hands if your church has some kind of security team? Okay, so that's most of us. Okay. My colleague that does that here at this church is interested in like helping other churches, like just reaching out, kind of having this kind of discussion, but with other churches. So if that's something you think your counterpart at your church would be interested in, we could help them get set up for something similar like this. So, all right, we're doing really well here.
So
Any other?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Well,
it wasn't me. Okay, for me, the thing that we have safety concerns with is the stairs of the movie theater. It's going up and down the stairs. Also, they have the post. What is it like? So, on the front of the movie theater, our movie theater has like posts, not like a wall. So like they could go in between them. So that's hard. Yeah, that was hard when we first started in the movie theater. He's gotten used to the environment now, so he's kind of not runs as much, and he's really heavy, and he has he's Down syndrome, so he's really big and sturdy. And so yeah, we just had to get 3 of us 3 to 1 on him, and just make sure we had one of us is always just standing there in between him and a wall, so that he can maul through the walls because they're they come apart. So that was one of our safety concern. Also with him running out of the classroom because he's fast. And so what we do is when he gets there, because he's every other weekend, when he gets there, we just go around to the security, whoever's the security team that week, we go around and say, hey, this is so-and-so, and we're gonna keep an eye out for him. If you see him running, get him. And we also, our other thing being portable church is changing tables, because he still is in diapers. So the changing tables they have there at the movie theater, they're all old and worn, and he's really heavy for those changing tables. So that's one of the things. The only one that we have that is really good is the one in the men's restroom. So we have to get I get one of the security guards to go in there first and check and make sure there's nobody in there, and then there's always 2 of us that go for changing diapers. But yeah, we have to make sure, we get the security team involved in that, and make sure, we have 2 people, and one of us is still, interacting with him while the other one's changing, but we still, it's a changing table. So, and it's the ones that fall down out of the wall. So we have to make sure, that's one of our safety concerns right now.
Okay.
So I just
changing tables makes me think. Sorry, changing tables makes me think of that is a question that's in their the Facebook group right now. So anyway, sorry.
I just wanted to add to that because my girls are 16 and they both use diapers still. So that was something I requested of our church, if they could just provide a gym mat that folds up and hangs on the wall and it's in the accessible washroom. So we just leave it there. There's a sign, please do not remove this mat. And that's the same thing I use at home. So for me, my girls never like to be on a changing table. So we don't even have one at home. I think maybe they have to use it at school, but I think they can also change them standing up. So even for adults, I mean, it would be useful for anyone, right? And that would be something you could bring and move around. So that's been really helpful for us. We don't need it a whole lot, but when we do need it, I don't want to have to lay them on my jacket. And they're bigger than me now. So it's really an easy solution, I think, and it can go in any bathroom. So
that's good. That's really good information.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's what we do, Andrea. You know, our large campus, we've got a beautiful electronic adult changing table that raises and lowers to the wheelchair. I mean, we thoroughly miss that at our other campuses. Our other brick and mortar campus, we have nothing, nor do we at our portable one. Both of those, we've got, you know, the mats that we fold up, and our brick and mortar we leave in the closet, and our other one we put it in one of our cases, and then when we unpack, we put it in the bathroom, and we just unfold it and put it on the floor, and we'll change them there and make the best of it. But that's the safest way to do it. At the same time, you're not worrying then about hurting yourself or hurting about anyone else by picking them up and putting them on the changing table, nor worrying about breaking the changing tables, because especially when you're in a movie theater, some of those other places, who knows what kind of shape that is in. And so it's actually safer for everybody involved to just use the changing mat, you know, or one of those mats, and they're really not that expensive. They're fairly inexpensive to use and fairly comfortable.
Now, the only thing I will say to that is, now for my girls, they're mobile now, and we have a couple gentlemen who come to our church who are wheelchair users and are completely dependent, and their mom can't change them when she comes to church. And sometimes she really needs to change them, and they're 34-year-old men, happen to be twins as well. But anyway, so that's a problem, because I know those are very expensive changing tables. On the other hand, maybe in the mobile sites, they have that in the public washroom. I don't know. Is that the case? Maybe in a school? No. It's not. I mean,
I would say not every school would have.
It'll be extremely rare from what I've seen.
Yeah. And it's extremely rare in a brick and mortar church as well, unless it's brand new.
Yeah, we're one of the few that has it.
Yeah.
All right. Any other last questions or thoughts? This has been great.
I'll say one of the downsides of being in a portable church, especially if you're in the Midwest and you're in like a school, if it snows, the school is shut down because they're not going to come out and shut. So you end up having a lot more services canceled. Your other campuses may be open, but you end up getting shut down. This last weekend, we had to cancel our services because the school will not plow their lots on the weekends because it costs them money. And so I can't blame them. But as a result, you then have to cancel services or try to find something else. And that just makes it very tough. We've tried to move to other locations, but we have found, especially then when it comes to special needs, it's just been an absolute nightmare when we've tried to shift to other locations at the last minute. It's just been really poor. So this last weekend, we just asked everyone to go to one of our other campuses. But if you don't have other campuses, that makes it hard. So that's one of the big downsides of being in a portable location. But hopefully as you grow, you'll be able to get a brick and mortar.
Been able to utilize the social media to be able to broadcast services so everyone is able to still attend church just in their jammies at home.
Right. which is sometimes nice anyway.
Especially when it's snowing.
Right.
I was just going to add, we tend to use social stories in, book form or whatever that they can take home a lot more, I think, than if we had not just because we can't do walkthroughs and we can't, get them used to the space.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's anything else along those lines that that you guys do, I'm open to hearing.
I love that idea. I'm all about social stories. I also think if you can take pictures of what your space looks like when it's your space, and put those on the website, on your website, that's a huge help. That really can alleviate the anxiety of, families that are wanting to come check it out. So that's great.
I was just going to add to that from my own experience with my girls. They both have extreme anxiety as well. So when they all of a sudden, one of them just would not go into the Walmart, we didn't really know why. And I happened to have 2 respite workers who are teachers, and one of them just took the iPad, which was kind of new to us at the time, and she just panned around in the inside of the Walmart, came back out to the other worker standing with my girls and said, okay, this is where it is, this is what we're doing. And so iPads are an amazing tool that have helped my girls now for years and years. And so I would say videos, even if you can post a video and then the parents can watch it before they come. And so maybe you guys all do that already, I don't know, but they're a lifesaver.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I was going to say is the video. And if you can get the video of while you're doing the services and doing the classrooms so that they can see what things are going to be like and what it looks like, that helps relieve the anxiety that might be there and just help them see what everything's like, and just help with that whole situation. Doing the social stories is awesome, but make sure you have actual pictures of your areas for everything that makes it better with everything and helps them understand it better.
The other things that we recommend and have done is having a get to know you, because we promote buddy ministries and stuff. So we will get together with the special needs director, your buddy, and parents and kiddos, and we'll all meet outside of the church because most of us aren't accessible to the portable churches, and somewhere the kiddo likes, and just have those get to know you meetings so kiddos know who they're going to see and who's going to walk them through, and kind of get that trust and relationship going before they walk in on the Sunday morning.
Wow, that's really cool. All right, well, that was a good one to end on. So I just want to thank you all today. This was a great conversation. So this will give me a day or so, but it'll be posted on the Key Ministry website. So if you go to keyministry.org, it's under 4 churches and then video roundtables. While you're on the website, don't forget to register for Inclusion Fusion Live 2020. That'll be happening right here in this building in April. And thank you. So just have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing you next month, same time, same channel. And just thanks everybody for pitching in today.